So this will be a discussion about achieving higher vibration states, and this relates to processes using photoacoustics with light, as I described in the presentation yesterday with stem cells, and also applying that to either pharmaceutical substances to enhance their vibrational state and increase their efficiency, or to nutrients for agriculture to deliver nutrition, and going beyond that to creating vibrational states using the human voice in an ancient system of tones and tone patterns called finite tones, in which, when used in a certain way, create a Lemurian choir. And this is a symbol from the Lemurian choir showing the toroids, which is a representation of a very efficient communication between the surface patterns. If you're creating a very efficient supercomputer, for example, the most efficient architecture is in a toroid. So you can have 1,024 processors, and in a toroidal form, one processor is more than 7 away from any other. So it's about massive parallel processing and ability to transmit and receive large amounts of information. So the choir symbol is about transmitting and receiving. This is visionary art from George Allen from Australia. And this is a representation of higher dimensional DNA going down the axis. And this inspired work, he believes, just looking at it, enhances the vibrational state of your DNA. So it creates an activation. And if you look at the fine detail, you see that he has layers within layers of codes, much as our DNA, which is layer within layer within layer. So it's about using light, geometry, and the tone of the voice for creating enhanced vibrational states. And this is George Allen's masterwork, a kind of journey of the soul in geometry, where we have the descent of the soul into form, and then ultimately channeling back up into unity consciousness. This is the first patent grant for a high vibrational form of aspirin. For over 100 years, there's only one solid-state form of aspirin, which is the crystal form commonly used. And using photoacoustics, as we described yesterday, creating high vibrational impulses with a laser, we've been able to create a form of aspirin that is completely clear. So, in the one picture, you see a crystalline form, and then below it, you see the pure glass form, which is literally clear as glass. And this high vibrational state, based on the physical chemistry, is expected to be at least 6 times more readily absorbed, and probably 1/6 the dose will be equally effective and may work 6 times faster. So imagine a tiny dose, 50 to 80 milligrams of aspirin, relieving a headache within 3 or 5 minutes. If we apply the high vibrational patterns of photoacoustics to nutrition, we have been able to get some very significant results. This is a formulation, as we described yesterday, of free amino acids, which are the amino acids in their pure form, divided into just the single amino acids, the pure building blocks, in the same ratio as egg white protein. And a dosage of 2 grams 3 times per day was used in a clinical trial of persons with heart failure. And this was published in the journal Clinical Gerontologia the Journal of Clinical Gerontology, the use of aminos for the regeneration of heart tissue. So, in the active treatment group, shortness of breath improved from 93% of the subjects to only 17%, which was statistically significant. There was no change in the placebo control group. Shortness of breath at rest, the most severe symptom, was completely resolved in the treatment group, where there was no change. It stayed 20% at both levels for the placebo group. Ventricular rhythm disturbance, which is a potentially life-threatening condition, improved from 40% of the subjects to 7%, whereas in the placebo group, it actually worsened from about 40% to 80%. So this suggested a roughly 90% reduction of the risk of a life-threatening arrhythmia. And this shows the breakdown of mild, moderate, and severe heart failure, the blue being mild, green being moderate, and the red being severe. And this is the placebo group, and you'll note that there is essentially no change. Both groups stay roughly the same after 30 days. Whereas in the treated group, we have the emergence of a new color, the color purple. And that is the color that represents the number of subjects that improve to normal or nearly normal. And this is literally just the use of vibrationally enhanced amino acids. And we note a roughly 60% recovery to a normal condition. And most of that recovery to normal is the persons with mild heart failure improvement. You can see all of the groups except the severe heart failure group improved significantly. So imagine something as simple as taking a vibrationally enhanced amino acid is able to regenerate enough heart tissue to go from heart failure to normal.
How many months you took, doctor?
This was 1 month. And as a demonstration that we were actually generating new heart tissue, this is the production of collagen over 30 days. And we see between the 5th and 10th day there was already a significant increase. And that by the 30th day there is roughly double the collagen production compared to control. So based on international criteria for stem cell studies, the results suggested the amino acids more than double the criterion for an effective stem cell treatment for heart failure. And in a sane world, this information would be widely distributed so that any of the 6 million persons with heart failure in the US, with 100 million people worldwide, would have this as an alternative to boost their heart function. Amino acid L-arginine is quite famous. It was the Science Magazine Molecule of the Year. And the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1998 was awarded for work using this molecule. And the next work is published in the Russian medical journal, Cardiologia, using the photoacoustically enhanced arginine. And this is the Russian title, which basically translated, and that's my name in Russian, the Ovokaitys. And my colleague, Professor V.C. Federal. And the translation is a report of a clinical study using the amino acid complex nitrox relief of symptoms of ischemic heart disease. So arginine is an amino acid that releases something called nitric oxide, which is a gas that dilates blood vessels, is responsible for the long-term memory process, enhances immune function, and this study looked at chest pain, both at rest and at exertion. And chest pain with exertion is typical of narrowings of the coronary arteries. And the placebo control group, there is no change after 30 days. But in the treatment group, we see an impressive approximately 80% reduction of exertional chest pain. And most severe symptom, chest pain that occurs even at rest, was also reduced by about 70%. Also compelling was the effect on maximum exercise capacity, such that over the control period of 30 days, there was a mild reduction of maximum exercise capacity. And with this vibrationally activated arginine, there was an approximately 60% increase in capacity in just 1 month. Now getting to food, this is creating high vibrational nutrition. And this is ordinary corn. And with a colleague of ours in Mexico, a Raul Mendez Segura, who spent 20 years perfecting the art of foliar nutrition, which is basically probiotics, minerals from the sea, and a natural protein source from kelp that combines together and is sprayed on the leaves and stems and creates a significant enhancement of yields. Typically, a 7% or greater increase in yield is considered significant. And with this process, it usually gets, at least in this year, a 20 to 25% increase in yield, which is quite significant. Now, when he applies the foliar, what we see, we go from the ordinary corn to the very hairy corn. And what the hair does, it's absorbing nitrogen from the atmosphere to increase the protein production in the plant. My colleague believes that he can reduce the fertilizer approximately 80% just by enhancing the intrinsic nitrogen retention mechanism. And we get some serious sized corn. So the strain of corn usually produces about a 200 gram ear, and here we see a 900 gram ear. And we see the hairiness of the stalk. So not only is the yield increased, but also the nutritional content of the food. And this shows the effect on zinc content in the control group. There is approximately 8 parts per million of zinc. Adding the full nutrition alone increases that by a little bit more than double. And the effect of this photoacoustic enhancement, this vibrational enhancement of the nutrients, increases that all the way to 5 times the control level. So approximately 2.5-fold further increase in the delivery of the nutrient, just with the vibrational enhancement. The effect on copper is also significant. The control group had no copper. With the foliar nutrients, it was increased to 1 to 2 parts per million. And with the laser activated nutrients, there was an actual 5-fold further increase in the delivery of that micronutrient. The effect on yield, with the foliar nutrients alone, with non-GMO beans, we saw a 22% increase, and this photoacoustic enhancement roughly tripled that to 60%. So the basic concept is with the light vibrational enhancement, we're getting a higher yield of higher nutritional content, higher vibrational food. So this shows some of the effects of light technology on creating higher vibrational substances, either for a pharmaceutical therapeutic use or for enhancing the results of agriculture. And we go from light vibrational effects, which are intended to increase the vibrational structure or resonance within the cells, to the effect of using tones produced by the human voice. So there's an ancient method called the pineal toning technique. And this is art from a South American artist called the portal of the pineal. And the pineal gland is a little gland in the center of the brain that is a photoreceptor. It measures the amount of light versus darkness during the day. And is also believed to be the organ of enlightenment. So the pineal tone patterns have the intention of stimulating or activating the hidden potentials and sequences in DNA. And we have some of our choir members in the room that have been at various of the gatherings. This was the first choir in 2012, and this was said to be the first recreation in 26,000 years of the Lemurian choir. It was said that the last time there were 800 singers, and altogether between the morning and afternoon we had over 900 singers. And most people there, when asked if they remembered being there before, raised their hand. So it's as though we had a divine appointment 26,000 years hence.
An eon.
Eons, yes. And just as our meeting today, we'd probably arranged it long ago. And as a vibrational process, this shows the grids and grid patterns for the choir. The first one was done in Maui, and each of the pink nodes has a companion null. We've done several of these so far. And as we can see, there is a sort of surface geometry that's being created that eventually will unfold into a pattern to open, it is said, dimensional information for creating an enlightened planet. How many of you know the work of Dr. Masaru Emoto from Tokyo? Hidden Messages in Water. So if we think something or say something or have a picture or play music, depending upon the vibrational quality, we'll create either beautiful water or distorted water. And he said, we'll give you more rigorous control. So he gave us not just distilled water, but Tokyo tap water. And the first level of these tonal patterns is already creating a nice structure in Tokyo tap water.
There are chairs.
And distilled water, if something is a beautiful formation, it will create a beautiful pattern. So as we sing these patterns, the crystalline structure of water in your body is affected. So imagine as you sing this pattern, all the cells in your body from head to toe are creating these beautiful geometries. And this is a review for many of you. So you can support those that are completely new to it. So the first level has the intention of remembering your divine eternal perfection. And the affirmation that comes with this is that I, as a being, am eternally pure and perfect. And anything that appears to be other than perfection is merely the illusion of this experiment of our experience. So I'll demonstrate this once for you to get the feel for it, and then we can all do it together. Very good. And all together.
What does it mean?
It's in the ancient language of Lemurian, and mana is the supreme source force. And kama is time. So, all together. And very good. Well done. How's that feel?
The pineal gland opens with the vibration.
Yeah. We'll do that once more and tune into the center of your head, see what you can feel. And extraordinary visionary artist named Deborah DeLisi, who actually hears these patterns. She sees multidimensional geometries and has the extraordinary ability to create images of them. And here we see from the pineal patterns of geometries emerging. The second level is about acceleration and amplification. And here we see the Tokyo tap water is showing an increase of the points from step to step. And here we see the points going in every direction. And it's a simple pattern. Simply an a z, and a tss. And this starts slowly, goes faster and faster, and is done once more slowly. Ready? And. Very well done. So do you feel the enhanced vibrational charge in yourself? And here's Deborah's visionary art. The third level has 3 sets of sleep syllables, and we see, interestingly, that the immortal crystal in Tokyo tap water has 3 sets of 3 points. So it's replicating the tone pattern and the architecture of the crystal. And of all the many immortal crystals I've seen, this is the only one that I've seen that has both 6 points, or 6 sides, and 9 points.
3, 6, 9.
And in distilled water, we see a perfect Star of David pattern, or the 2-dimensional representation that is the Merkaba, which is said to be that vehicle that accelerates and is able to transport us from one dimension of space to another. And I'll illustrate this once. The intention is moving into the seed sound of creation, which is the Om. And this is the pattern. And the first sounds very tribal. And it's quite fun just to stand up and sing it together. Which is oh, 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 unfold it. And it goes, I-o, 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 and when they're sung together, it's a little bit up tempo. I-o, I-o. So does anyone here feel like they can lead one of the parts?
Come on, Mom.
You probably
Never
can.
done it, but I'll do it.
Okay.
What side?
Why don't you do 23, and I'll plan to come in at the right time. So, the first 4 bars are sung by this side alone, and then at the 5th bar, we come in. Right?
Who's going to sing with me?
I got you.
I guess
And
this
that's
side.
it, yeah.
Oh, half and half?
Yeah, half and half.
Oh, 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 oh. I-o, I-o, I-o,
Do that. And now for the finale, I'm going to share with you tones based on the song of the whale. So these were learned from the humpback whales in Maui. And in Tokyo tap water, we see perhaps the most perfect crystal ever formed, which is based on this tonal pattern. And in distilled water, we see a 7-pointed symbol of immortality called the tortoise of Vishnu. And the middle looks like the eye of a whale, doesn't it?
The eye of the whale.
And you can see a whale tail, another one there, and smiling dolphin face. And this is blue whale consciousness art from an artist in Chile, in Nora. And this is representing the consciousness of blue whales. And this is the eyes. So just relax and close your eyes. And see what you're seeing.
thought you were going to show it.
No.
Okay, here.
Okay, that's it.
So, go ahead and start setting up, and I'll be there just. Oh, I gotta stop the video.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that takes us looking down the central core of DNA. And we've just done a series of harmonic vibrations to enhance the stellar action of cells, to awaken dormant parts of DNA, to boost higher dimensional attributes. For those of you that may be interested in learning more about this method, you can go to pinealtones.com on the internet. There's online training, there are occasional workshops around the world. And the next major choir is scheduled for September of 2019 in the Wheeler Mountains in Borovets, Bulgaria. So this is a bit about sound and light, enhancing the vibrational states of matter for ingestion or application, and then using the tone of your voice to enhance your vibrational state.